I'm a professional archivist and I have been for the last 8.5 years. I work in the school archive space. I spent a lot of time volunteering in this space before I received my qualification. While I was working towards that qualification, I studied at Curtin University and I have a Bachelor of Arts in Librarianship and Corporate Information Management. And I come from an administrative and library background. And I will also say, with all of that being said, I have had a second line of work where I've worked as an online content creator and manager for Iris Consulting, because my entire interest in records and archives has been mostly in the digital space. And I've been very fortunate to be able to do lots of the work that I love to do. Absolutely love my work as an archivist. And I'm currently the Records and Archives Manager at my main organization. I was chosen by Archives. My first role in the library was at a school, and the principal at that school decided we had some VIPs and some photographs and records that should be preserved. And I did that work as part of my work in the school library. And that fed into a level 6 library position at a local government here in Western Australia, where there was a small local history and local studies archive. Because of my past experience and interest in archives, our library manager there at the time asked me to do some project work in that archive and work with volunteers, and to do that on a temporary basis. And for whatever reason, because of that work, I met the person who I've taken over from at the school I now work for, and it was like a path that just opened up before me. And I have an understanding of the information structures in archival work. They have always made sense to me, especially even more so now in the digital world, because before I studied anything at all, I studied computer technology very briefly. But that did not float my boat, but Archives did. And information management, and it still does. I do enjoy it. Yes, it makes sense to me. And so I funneled that into the work and embraced it fully. There's actually been quite a few. I found the society to be very supportive of the work that we do, passionate about that work. And there's been a number of moments to engage in because of their support of me and of the profession. And I've engaged in a number of professional activities beyond my actual workplace, which I've been very grateful for and very glad to do. And it's been of great benefit in expanding my understanding of archives environments, and especially being able to connect with other archivists, which is and can be an issue for archivists. They can be isolated. And definitely being on the National Council during the COVID years was a wonderful experience, because I also work in the online world. And I love that world. It's a very creative world. And during that time with the ASA Council, we introduced initiatives such as hybrid or fully online conferences. That was a very exciting thing to be part of, and wonderful to see it come to fruition. With other highlights, being able to present professional research and interests, and being able to connect with archivists across the country around their practice, their professional interests and the profession. And the directions that archives, which I feel archives have taken, has been a wonderful thing to be able to explore. I feel that's a hugely new direction, and a lot of people do not advocate for that direction or are unaware of what that advocacy could be or should be, because I do that at a local level, but feel that it should be across the country. And having the opportunity to present those points of view at a national level has been of great interest and a wonderful thing to take part in. Things like where micro-credentialing fits in with our education within our profession, I was able to put that point of view forward and see it taken up as part of the education review. And things like how the RRDS2 is implemented in schools. I'm a great advocate for that, having done that at my own organization and coming from that record-keeping background. But just being able to see that raised and see that there's a lot of interest from school archivists. The theory and practice need to marry in that area. And that's a major part of my work here at my main organization, but it's not the same for all school archivists. A lot of people are starting to see the need for it now. So the connection for practice directions, if you like, and discussions, and being able to be there for people who need to talk to someone about their issues, and even those connections locally and nationally. That's been a great highlight, especially the National Schools SIG. So those are the highlights of my involvement with the Australian Society of Archivists, and it's such a valuable organisation. I've seen the campaign to continue to fund Trove be very successful and supported and assisted by the ASA. That was a fabulous thing. I've seen the ASA support the development of Collections WA when the association between WA and the GLAM sector here and Victorian Collections was ended by the Victorian Collections people. It was the ASA leaders in WA that strongly advocated for Collections WA, our own online sharing platform for the GLAM sector, including multiple archives across different practice areas. And that's a key achievement that I feel the Australian Society of Archivists has had, and that successful management of hybrid and fully online conference spaces is a huge achievement. And it was also very enjoyable from a participant point of view, joining in those conferences. It was fascinating to be part of that initiative. So definitely advocacy, successful advocacy campaigns, because so many people don't know what archivists do. And the very successful and still traveling advocacy campaign for professional school archivists, which came about with an incredibly beautifully written letter from the then president to all school principals, and to see that further shared and promulgated and advocated for in a space where school archivists were being reduced and their professional practice not understood or appreciated, and people who did not know anything or have those professional skills coming in and asking professional school archivists for help. But being able to advocate and to say to the organizations themselves, actually, you need a professional here. And seeing that also professional archives practice being advocated for at the tertiary level, again successfully by practitioners like Dr. Louise Coram, and with her collaboration with 3 school archives at a national conference. That's my own archive, Scotch in Melbourne, and Prince Alfred in Adelaide. Those things I see as successes of the society, very important ones. I'm a person who holds strong personal beliefs in certain things that are good for the world and good for society. But I'm perhaps not confident in putting forward those opinions and beliefs in certain spaces like the workplace. I've got some challenges in my workplace, like many people. And as an archivist, you tend to be ignored and sidelined. And definitely people have the wrong understanding or a lack of understanding of what you do. And the society, the Australian Society of Archivists, has given me the confidence to speak for my role, for the value of that role, beyond the organisation and within the organisation and personally. And I have felt empowered by that. Actually, I think that's an evolving space, and I think this is perhaps only my point of view, I don't know, because I was raised by my father, who was very forward-thinking in terms of technology, and my point of view has always been to look ahead in terms of technology. And I feel strongly that the challenge with and for the Australian Society of Archivists is to enable that forward thinking and forward practice for their entire membership, with resources and with the leadership that they provide.